And we are live here for day number 2. Little different setup here as Darryl McCoy, JJ Pruitt on the D&D Sports Network morning startup show. JJ, good morning.
Good morning to you as well. Day
Yeah.
4 of training has officially started today.
So day 4,
Yes, sir.
for you guys that don't know this, again, we are a few minutes late here, hopping on. We're still trying to make sure everything is on right and we got everything figured out, all the kinks and quirks. But JJ, so far, been doing really good. Got a lot of feedback. How'd you enjoy your first day on the job
I, wa-
on the
I-
startup show?
well, at first I was a little nervous because I've never been in that situation before where I went live, with an exception of calling the games with you. But after about 30 or 40 minutes, I finally got comfortable, and it was a really great experience.
Well, before we get going too far in this, I want to remind everybody this segment is sponsored by Jim Mars Services. Jim Mars Services is the number one company in the co-industry. Whether you're looking for jobs or you're looking for parts or quit for equipment, lube, stuff like that, Jim Mars Service is the place to go. They're located in Logan, West Virginia. They got other offices up in northern West Virginia. But anybody looking to get back into the co-industry, go to Jim Mars Services and they'll hook you up with a job. Now, JJ, as getting started, what was yesterday? I left you after a full day of sales. Anything interesting go on yesterday evening?
Well, the main thing that I focused on whenever I got to the house was focusing on doing everything that I could to get prepared for today, where it's our first official day of doing this from, your location and my location. So I wanted to make sure that, everything was set up perfectly. That way I would be prepared for today.
Yeah, I actually got a little bit of downtime, which is rare. Not a little bit. I got about an hour. Caught up on a new Netflix show last night. So trying to take although not on vacation, trying to take a little bit of break during this dead period.
Absolutely. And it's always good to try to make time for yourself whenever you get a little downtime. And I'm really curious to know what it was that you were watching yesterday. Like, what are you currently binge watching, or trying,
Uh,
not binge watching, but actually, trying to, watch a little bit.
Well, last night we watched that show, Eric. I don't know if you know much about it. It's about a guy that's kind of uh, no, well, a kid goes missing, and it's a suspense show, so don't know for sure who kills him. It's kind of like a thriller suspense, so we'll
Those
see how that one ends up. But I've watched quite a few good series lately on Netflix. I don't get a lot of time to watch TV, so when I watch one, it ain't binge watching. I'll watch a series and it takes me 2 months to watch it.
Well, that's definitely a show that I'm going to check out for sure. Like, I'm in the exact same situation as you. I rarely ever get any downtime. So usually in that situation, like I'll just watch something that I've already seen before. But I would love to, start something new for sure.
Yeah, the now one thing that we didn't hit on yesterday, I want to remind everybody, a lot of people messaged and asked why we didn't talk about the UK World Series. Mason Moore, I don't know whether you know him or not. I'm sure you probably wouldn't, JJ, but he is from Paintsville, ended up going to Rowan County, was one of the star pitchers on the Kentucky baseball team. And this was the first time ever that Kentucky had been to the World Series, and we had a local boy who was one of the starting pitchers for the Wildcats.
Really? That
Yeah.
is really impressive. Like, I love hearing stories about, local kids that are going on to, be successful on the collegiate level. Does he have any teams that are looking at him? Like, is he a potential prospect in the draft, or,
Oh yeah, he'll probably play pro baseball someday, and
uh,
but that was huge, for the Kentucky baseball team because Kentucky baseball has never been. It was the last SEC school to go to the College World Series. Every other SEC school had been.
Really?
Yep.
Well, I mean, that means they get to be a part of history. You know,
Yeah.
they're the very first to do it.
Yeah. So,
So
I
that
mean,
is,
absolutely, huge there, JJ. And uh, when we first got started there yesterday, we'll go into that here in a minute because I want to go extent into one of our topics here. I want to go into it a little deeper, but I was listening to the radio and out west, I don't know. You said you don't travel much, but out in Western Kentucky, they got a bunch of lakes, and it's a completely different landscape than what we have here in the mountains. But the land between the lakes, they're saying that there's an actual werewolf running loose.
a werewolf.
A werewolf. The
Well,
since I moved to Martin County, I've got a little more. Animals have been in my backyard. We've seen bear cubs, we've seen coyotes, we've seen a little bit of everything here so far, but we've not seen a werewolf yet.
yeah, that's really interesting. Like, I like how you mentioned bears. Like, my mother's currently having issues with bears in her area. She actually lives in the Maitland area, and
Yeah,
like they love getting inside of her garbage.
yeah.
So,
They did ours too, and believe it or
yeah,
not, I don't know if it had anything to do with the show or not,
yeah.
but JJ, they come and picked our trash up yesterday.
Did they really?
Yeah, yeah. So,
Huh. Hmm.
so thumbs up to the Martin County Sanitation Department.
Yeah.
They're not Martin County. I don't want to call them that because it's not the county, but
Right.
definitely shout out to them. Excited to get that trash picked up, and but going back to what I was talking about, that werewolf. It reminded me when I was a kid, JJ. Believe it or not, I don't know if you're from the Matewan area, so I don't know if anyone. If the legend got over to y'all's way yet, but there was a very famous tale of a ball fork monster. You ever heard of it?
No, I've never heard of that.
Okay,
You're gonna have to educate me real quick.
when I was a kid in grade school, we was scared to death of this thing called the ball fork monster. And I mean, like, it was legit. It was in the newspapers. Like, people was seeing a monster break in and or break in people's yards, look through windows. He was people be driving down the road, look on the hillside, they'd see him there. I mean, it was being seen quite a bit, and the so it went on for years, and I mean, like, kids was terrified of it, like, during this time. And you didn't have social media, you didn't have nothing like that, but it had got widespread. If anybody's tuning in and remembers the ball fork monster, please let us know in the comment section. And but come to find out, I think it might have been a hoax. I think some guys may have been dressing up as a Bigfoot monster or a Yeti or something, and was scaring people in the Ball Fork area. But I met a guy later on in life, and I was told that he was the Ball Fork monster. His name was Blue Eyes. I think he passed away now, but really funny guy. I mean, he could have been a comedian. He was so funny, but so I don't know if the legend is true or if that guy was the Ball Fork monster, or if there was a Ball Fork monster or what it was. But that werewolf kind of got me going back to my childhood.
That kind of reminds me, like, I think the equivalent of the ball fork monster in West Virginia would be probably the Mothman.
Yeah.
If you remember him, or it's like, yeah, that was a big deal whenever I was a kid. Like, they would always talk about it.
The Mothman, that's something I still want to go up there to the Mothman Museum and want to tour it and stuff. I mean, I've watched the movie, I enjoyed the movie, so
it was a really good movie. I think it had what was his name, Richard? It wasn't Richard Gere. It was it might have been Richard Gere. I'm not 100% sure, but I think it came out like 2002, 2001.
Yeah, I can't remember, but I definitely enjoyed the movie, and I want to go up to that area. But as we're going to be talking about a lot of topics today, JJ, and at 9:00 we're going to have a guest come on. It's our first ever guest, and this kid has an opportunity to be one of the D&D Sports Network Player of the Years. So you definitely want to make sure you tune in at 9 a.m. as we'll have a special guest. I ain't even going to tell you who it is yet, JJ.
Oh man, see, I like to be prepared, but you know, if you're gonna make it a surprise, then I'm cool with that.
Yeah,
really excited.
You was asking me before we come on air, what my plans was if we was going on, if we was going to go on vacation, if we was going to go. What we was going to do for 4th of July. What do you normally do for 4th of July?
Honestly, I usually go to Vegas.
That's
usually my go-to spot. And surprisingly, it's actually cheaper to fly there than it is to go to the beach. So for those out there that would want to try to save a little money and have a little bit better of an experience, if you are cool with flying on like Spirit Airlines, you can definitely go there for probably 5 or 6 days for maybe $500 or $600, depending on what hotel you stay in.
I'm actually frightened of airplanes, so I won't be flying Spirit Airlines.
I've never had a problem with them.
Unless it's Air Force One, I'm not flying on it. So But I don't know. This year, normally the last few years we've been at the beach or we've been on vacation or something. But this year, I may stick around and do the hometown thing and go watch fireworks in the area. Around the area, you can go to just about any small town and they got beautiful fireworks. I grew up going to the Food City parking lot and watching them in the Belfry. But I went over Prestonsburg, and Prestonsburg, we lived right in town there, and they put on one of the best fireworks shows there is, period. I mean, they are amazing with what they do. Now, one I would like to go to is Co-Run, because they have a whole fair, a whole festival, and I would like to go over to Co-Run, and they got like wrestling and stuff like that, and they say their fireworks is pretty good over that way.
Yeah, I remember as a kid, like going to South Williamson to watch the fireworks. The entire buildup was the best experience. I mean, they would start at maybe 4 or 5 o'clock at the Southside Mall, and they would have like concerts and things like that. And, it was just a really good opportunity to get a lot of people together. The only thing that I didn't like was the traffic, at the end.
Okay.
But, the entire experience it was wonderful.
Well, and I don't know over here at Martin County. I've not, like I said, we just moved over here, so I don't know what they do over here. But I've also heard in Louisa that there's some good fireworks, and I tell you, that Lawrence County is a county that I've quickly fell in love with. If you go there, Lawrence County is a beautiful county. So I may end up going to Lawrence County this year, Louisa, see if we can't catch some firework action.
Oh yeah, that would be awesome.
Yeah, if you're in the Logan area, they got that Freedom Festival, and I'm pretty sure 4th of July, the city of Logan puts the Freedom Festival on. Somebody let me know if that's true, but I'm pretty sure that during that week is whenever they do their big festival. I could be wrong, but we was at Archer Park yesterday in Prestonsburg, and they was setting up their fair already. So they may be that may be an option too for folks.
Yeah, and I was blown away at how nice that place was. Like the entire state of Kentucky in general, it's just so clean, and everywhere that you go to, it's just like it just seems like there's always something to do.
Well, I couldn't believe that how when you said sheltered, how sheltered you was that that you've not been to Prestonsburg.
I mean, I've as a kid, I think, or when I was in high school, I think I may have went there 2 or 3 times, but for the most part, I've been there. But like, it's just driving to the airport and driving past it, pretty much. Yeah. But as far as like pulling in and seeing the entire scenery and everything like that, no, I've never been before.
Well, JJ, I hope you have fun in Vegas while all of us little guys are still stuck around this area. But
as much as I'd like to go this year, I may be busy with the network. I may just focus on that, and I may try to go maybe in a couple of months, because it's usually cheaper to go during August or September anyways.
Yeah.
So I may just put that on hold.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I think that we'll be here, so I'm hoping. That's my plans right now.
Mm-hmm.
Is I want to go to Louisa. I've never been to Louisa. I want to go there and take 4th of July in there.
Yeah.
So what we're going to do, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to get into some local sports in the area, or some topics in the sporting world. We got a lot to talk about, JJ, including something that blew my mind, that one of the professional football coaches have got caught doing. So make sure you guys come right back and join us after this commercial break.
Started right here on this farm. We may have grown over the years, but we've never lost sight of what was important to us. We're continuing that tradition today, and we always will be for generations to come.
Oceana Discount Tobacco today. Nobody can beat Oceana Discount Tobacco's great prices or their great services. You're treated like family from the second you walk through the door. We want to thank Oceana Discount Tobacco for sponsoring today's events. Go follow them on Facebook.
Law High School. Continue to follow D&D Sports, best coverage in the mountains.
We're back here, JJ, on the morning startup show. We want to thank everybody for tuning in, guys. This is our second day. This is our first day being apart. This here, we will use this system a lot on this show because we want to be able to bring guests on remotely. And this is the easiest way. We've not found out how to do it with our other system yet. So we will be doing a lot of this. Hopefully tomorrow we can bring Coach Jones on, Coach David Jones.
Oh yeah, one of my oldest friends. I would love to have him on here and have another conversation with him for sure.
Yeah, the Coach Jones, he's got a lot going on right now as he's gearing up for his football season. So definitely want to bring Coach Jones on, talk about what the Mingo Central Miners have in store and what they're going to be looking like.
Absolutely, I'm really excited to see what they do this year. They had a really good season last year. What did they finish? Was it 7-3 or was it 8-2? Yeah. Like they had
I think 7-3 is what they finished.
Yeah, they had a really solid record.
Coach Jones is tuning in, but before we go any further, we want to remind everybody this segment is sponsored by Derek Bowling at Kentucky Farm Bureau. If you're looking for insurance, you live in the Hazard Perry County area, or you live anywhere in the mountains, hit up Derek Bowling. I promise you won't find better prices than what you can get with Derek Bowling on insurance. I did it myself, JJ.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
that's something, yeah.
Yeah, I try to use all of our sponsors.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's I mean, these sponsors, a lot of people say all the time, they appreciate what we do at D&D, but it's not, we can't do it without these sponsors. So, I mean, I try to make sure that myself and everybody I know, I try to push them to our sponsors for any time that they need anything our sponsors offer.
Absolutely.
So we got a few comments coming in. Brianna Deskin says, you're going to come back married from Vegas, JJ.
You never know.
Yep.
Anything's possible.
So as we're sitting here, going into, we're going to start talking about some of the stuff going on in the sporting world. We're going to, yesterday we teased, we'll be talking about, you asked me 25 names that to keep an eye on in the mountains. So I'll try to give you them here in a minute. And, but before we go any further, I just turned on the news yesterday and happened to see Bill Belichick without a shirt on. I didn't think I would see that, JJ.
Oh, yeah. He usually is known for having those hoodies on with the sleeves torn.
Yeah.
So just the idea that he doesn't have anything on at all, like that's, yeah. I don't want to have that image in my head.
Well, he got caught doing the walk of shame coming out of his 25-year-old girlfriend's apartment.
25.
Yeah, 25. So
Is
Bill
that,
Belichick, undoubtedly, Bill Belichick's got a little more spunk in him than what we always thought he did.
he got 8 Super Bowls, and he's out there living his best life now.
And undoubtedly, he met this young lady on an airplane, and she was doing her homework or something, and she asked him to sign her textbook.
And what do you do? What do you do? Sign up with his phone number?
I guess so. I guess he put Bill Belichick, 606-875-309. But
my first thought is like, how does somebody his age even interact with somebody like that to even try to,
Oh well, I mean, I don't want to go into it, but we could imagine what the young lady's there for. But hopefully he finds love. I hope that's the case.
Absolutely.
Sometimes young men and sometimes girls are looking for older guys. But we're looking at a nearly a 50-year age gap there.
Yeah, you got one person that's just starting their life, and then you got one person that's may not have as much time left. I don't want to say they're towards the end, but when you get in your 70s, it's like if the average person.
Well, let's just say he's on the downside of his prime.
Yeah, that's a nice way to put it.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess I can't say much. My wife's younger than I am. She's not 50 years, but I think we got 6-7 years between us.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, it's to each their own. I mean, who knows? Maybe he was looking for a caretaker. Got 2 in 1.
Oh, you never know who's going to come along that's going to make you happy at the end of the day.
That's it. So I'm happy for Coach Bill. He wasn't. His life wasn't too eventful. He was always boring. So, hopefully he gets a little excitement in his life.
And plus, I can imagine these last couple of seasons where they haven't been as good as they were with, the other quarterback.
Yeah.
This may be,
But, I know one thing, you was asking me earlier, about my shirt I got on today. I'll get over D&D Mountain Elite. This is our AAU program shirt. Our D&D Mountain Elite team, we started it, I think 3 years ago. And, we started with senior class and we've since built on. So we got a senior class, an 8th grade class, and a 5th grade class right now.
Oh, really? So have you guys had a chance to play mini games this summer or?
No, last summer we wore it out. And then this summer we played, I think 3 or 4 tournaments before the dead period. I mean, before summer ball, and then we'll probably play 3 or 4 after. With this group, we got a group of seniors. We got, 90% of your best seniors in the mountains is on our team. So I want to make sure that we're able to do right and get them in some big tournaments in July.
So you pretty much got an all-star team.
Well, there's some kids I would like to that I would like to have, but we with the ones we got, there's no reason that we can't compete with best. I mean, we got Jackson Estridge, we got Peyton Davis, Jake Sloan, E.B. Waters, Connor Napier, Walker Russell, Matt Hatfield. Trying to think, Caden Aaron, Jacob Breeding, and I hope I'm not forgetting. And then we got some that plays with us from time to time, like Chris Spriggs. In the past, we've had Braden Ferris, Joey Gollyhue, Jaden Stewart's wore the jersey, played a tournament with us. So we've got a pretty healthy squad. I can say that. Very happy with the talent that we got. Carter Jude, Gavin Hamilton's played with us, Braxton Davis. So, I like my guys.
So do we get a chance to call these games as well, or is that, would that be something we could do in the future for your AAU team?
Yeah. Absolutely. That's something that I don't get. I normally have to choose and this year I've been coaching, so I've had to sit on the bench, so I've not got to film. But it would be really nice to have somebody there to film. I try not to film because I get too excited in them. Because my son plays, so I try not to film because of my yelling and screaming at the officials, and because it is our team. So I don't know. I would definitely we film all the games, but I would love to take and have you come film. That way we can have somebody commentate it too, because normally it's just a parent running the camera.
Yeah, I would love to do that.
Yeah, so we got some comments here. Bradley Dameron says, "I'm sure that relationship is all about true love." Bradley Dameron says, "Bill's got game." And Whitey Little responded to that and said, "No, Bill's got money." So, yeah, listen, whatever it takes gets it. JJ, we got to get you up, man. Yeah, listen, more people are starting the morning with us. You got to get a little more happier this morning.
I'm working on it. Like, I'm still getting warmed up. Like, you give me probably about 30 minutes when we get the special guests, and that's when they're going to see, me finally turn it on a little bit. But I'm really excited. It's still a little early, but I'm absolutely excited for this special guest that we have.
Yeah, yesterday, I don't know if we hit on that. People was when you was asking, leading to that over to basketball. And listen, after a couple days here, we're going to go into football. And we're going to be in football for the next few months, talking football. So it's football season now. Summer ball's over, football season. But sticking with basketball, somebody messaged and asked, have we got a chance to see Phelps yet? Now Phelps is that they got a couple new transfers in. And Cameron Smith, he's a sneaky one. All of a sudden you'll think Phelps is. Phelps is going to struggle this year, and then all of a sudden, bam, Cameron hit you with a couple transfers coming in, and the transfer portal. People when they call it the high school transfer portal. Technically, they're not any, but I do expect in a year or two for the the local KHSAA or governing bodies of high school sports to officially add a transfer portal.
So has Phelps ever made a run at like the 15th regional title in basketball?
Yeah. Back in the day, they Phelps has had a lot of good teams. I don't think Phelps has ever won one. Trying to think. No, I don't think even with Irving Stepp, I don't think Irving ever won one. Somebody let us know. That knows a little better than I do. Said, get him a Mountain Dew. David Jones says, we're going to have to get him one, ain't we, David?
Good to go.
There you go. So, but as you're sitting there, Phelps, Phelps is a special place. I love Phelps. Phelps treats us like family. Ever since Coach Jones coached over there, we got a close relationship with him. And, I'm tickled to death for Cameron and the Phelps Hornets. They got a couple transfers come in, I think, from Canada. So, hopefully, they're formidable and can make a run at that 60th district title this year.
Absolutely. And a lot of my family is actually from the Phelps area on my mother's side. Yeah. So, I've been to Phelps many times.
Oh, well, right here we got the answer. Jamie Hager says they won it in 1988. Now, Jamie, was that before Irvin's time or after? I'm thinking it was after. He said boys and girls won both in 1988. Wow, girls repeated too. So we appreciate you letting us know that, Jamie. That's special when you can have one team take boys and girls to state. I'm trying to think if it happened in the D&D era. I'm thinking Pikeville may have done it. I could be wrong, but I think a few years ago, Pikeville took boys and girls both there. So it and then when you take and look, going through the region, people was saying any new faces, asking us if they was new faces, and I don't know. The transfer world has brought a lot of new pieces to the region this year. Pikeville has Jackson King, Ethan Sykes, both there now. Trying to think if Pike Central. They got Caden Lawson come over from Menifee County. Martin County got Estridge and Watts. Then Betsy Lane got Josh Allen. Cole Lafferty transferred over there for football. I don't know if he'll play basketball or not. Trying to think if we got Floyd Central, if they picked up any. I don't think Floyd Central did. I know Shelby Valley got Gavin Hamilton. And I know Phelps got the 2 Canadians. I think they may have got somebody else from Logan. Trying to see if anybody else. I don't think Logan or Chapmanville. Tug Valley got Ethan Farrell. So there's a lot of new faces in old places this year.
So is that something that you see very often? Is a lot of kids doing transfers every single year, or is that something that's rare, or is it a regular thing? Like seeing a lot of kids like transfer from school to school.
It is here in the mountains is extremely. You see it all the time. It's become a norm, especially believe it or not, the 15th region is one of the regions that you see transfers the most.
Okay.
So it and in West Virginia, you see it quite a bit. But you don't see it near as much as what you do, on the Kentucky side.
Yeah, I know whenever I was younger, like you rarely ever saw that because there were so many rules. Like you had to, get a new address, and then they had to be able to verify that address, and then like there was a lot of other rules and regulations, and it was something that you only seen occasionally. Like maybe every year you'd have 2 or 3 transfers, or maybe 1 or 2, but then besides that was pretty much it.
Yeah, it's and it was always a big deal. David Jones was one of the biggest transfers ever. The co-owner of D&D Sports Network, with the maestro and myself. So
absolutely, I remember when he transferred, he got a lot of negative feedback from his local community. Like everybody was saying that he wasn't going to do that well in AA ball. Well, sure enough, as soon as he went there, 2 straight state championships, 4 years in Kentucky, goes on to, get drafted as a free agent, has a heck of a career.
A lot of people don't realize, David started that Belfry run. Belfry was always good before. I think in the 80s they went a couple of years with Devil Doug and some of the bunch, but they wasn't Belfry until David Jones came.
They were good, but they didn't win anything.
Yeah, then we got some more comments. We see Mike Mullen says Irvin was around 80. Bradley Dameron says Parker Watts definitely a new face. It looks like after step Mike Fannin and Brian Charles was part of that. So Brian Charles, God rest his soul, just passed away recently. One of the best men you'll meet was the principal at Martin County, but they was on that Phelps team that won the region. And then Bradley Dameron said David is one of the best high school players he ever seen in person. Bradley covered sports for the local newspaper back then.
Mm-hmm. He was so good too. Like, I remember when him and Doug was on the same team, and they was thunder and lightning, and then it was like every time they pitched the ball to one of them, it was a touchdown.
All right. When we come back, there was one of our coaches stepped down yesterday, one of our local coaches, and want to talk about it when we come back. And then we got a load more to talk about. I want to dive in. We talked about Xander Carter turning down a 6-figure contract. I want to talk about that a little more. And then we're going to talk about one of the recent states that has added a shot clock in high school basketball. You want to come right back and join us for this segment here after this quick commercial break here on the D&D Sports Network. For JJ Pruitt and Darryl McCoy, you're watching the Morning Startup Show. We'll be right back.
Walters Kia. By now, you know Kia is a great vehicle, and you know they come with a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty. So why should you buy from Bruce Walters Kia? At Bruce Walters Kia, we're going to change your oil for free for life. And what you do with that money you save is up to you. Come check out the 2022 Kia Carnival and the 2021 Kia Sorento. Only at Bruce Walters Kia in Pikeville. Or shop us online at brucewalterskia.com.
Drug today and let them fill your prescription. Aracoma Drug has been serving the Chapmanville community for over 46 years. They're a proud supporter of the Chapmanville Tigers and all mountain athletes.
JJ Pruitt and Darryl McCoy back here on the Morning Startup Show. JJ, this segment, we want to give a huge shout out, as always, to our gracious sponsors. But this segment here is sponsored by our good friends at Kemper Furniture. Kemper Furniture, located in Hazard, Kentucky. If you're looking for American-made furniture that's built sturdy, got good warranty, great service, go to Kemper Furniture, located in Hazard.
Great prices as well.
Yeah,
absolutely.
As we're sitting here getting this segment started, JJ, you were sitting there. I just seen come across the TV. The Olympics have added breakdancing.
Breakdancing.
What is that about?
I mean, if it was the 80s,
but I would be ticked off if I turned on the Olympics and I seen breakdancing and wasn't warned ahead of time.
I mean, it's a competition, but is it a sport? I don't understand that. Like, I mean, I can imagine though, like 1987, I probably would have loved it, but in 2024, it's like it's like, well, what else? What are they going to add next as a sport?
Well, don't make a mockery of the Olympics is what I'm saying. And, I'm not a big fan of breakdancing in the Olympics. I think that was a poor choice by the Olympic Committee. And, building off what we talked about yesterday about them taking the knife off the Swiss Army knife, I wouldn't be surprised if they do away with the shooting events at the Olympics in the near future.
Due to with the regulations and stuff and the way that people feel about.
I mean, if you can't have a knife, I sure don't see them putting guns on TV. And, I don't know. I mean, I could definitely see them going that way, but, breakdancing, I think that's a little soft. I'm not a big fan of that.
I mean, I can understand like having a national or worldwide breakdancing event, but like for the Olympic Games for sports, I mean, that doesn't make sense to me.
No. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. There's so many other sports that could have been added that isn't. I mean, listen, I'm not a fan of this whole pickleball craze that people's going on, but I would have seen more if they would have added that than what they could have by adding break dancing.
Now, I'm not going to lie to you. I do think that extreme sports are very entertaining to watch, like BMXing and skateboarding and stuff like that.
But here's the thing, skateboarding, I guess I could get on with that, but with dirt bikes and stuff, I mean, the Olympics is supposed to be, people's personal endurance. You using your legs, your feet, your arms, stuff like that. So I wouldn't be for them adding dirt bikes or anything like that.
Yeah.
So I just hope the Olympic Committee, I hope that they continue to build the Olympics. And, one thing I was excited about, but it blew my mind that they was actually integrating it in the Olympics was, that they was talk that and I don't know if they actually did it or not, but they was putting a 3-on-3.
A 3-on-3 basketball tournament?
Yeah.
I actually saw that as well, and I think that would be very entertaining to watch.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't realize that 3-on-3 is like a completely different game of its own.
Yeah. Well, and I ended up yesterday. I think it was, when I was a kid, I used to watch the Olympics a lot. I can remember Nancy Kerrigan, Tanya Harding, that whole situation. I can remember Michelle Kwan. I can Scott Hamilton. Scott Hamilton, one of my favorite skaters of all time.
Yeah.
Then you go, even when we was older, in high school years, Usain Bolt. The Olympics I've always enjoyed watching them, but I can't say I'll be watching breakdancing.
Absolutely not. So speaking of the Olympic Games, how do you think the Team USA is going to do in men's basketball this year?
This is the year. I hope. I'm a huge patriotic person, so I hope that we end up winning. But this is the year I could see us getting beat, because when you take a look at the top players in the NBA, I mean, you got Lucas, Giannis, Luka, Joker. Yeah, all the great, even Jamal Murray is a Canadian. So
Joel Embiid.
Yeah, Joel Embiid. So all your top players in the NBA are international players.
Yeah, so on paper, we have a really good roster, but it's like, okay, when you start looking at everybody's age, like this guy's 38 years old, this guy's 36, this guy's injury prone, this guy's like 37 years old as well. So it's like the names are really good, but like how well are they going to be in the Olympics? Like how well are they going to actually be able to hold up?
Yeah, but one thing I will say about Americans is they're resilient, and if there's anybody that can do it, we'll put a team out that can do it. I think, you probably got Dame Lillard. Well, he's kind of a past thing. The Steph, I don't know if Steph will play in it. LeBron, don't know if he'll play in it this year because he's at the downslope of his career. So, you got Devin Booker, Trae Young, players like that probably play in it. But, it's going to be an uphill climb because, the world has caught up with the U.S.
Absolutely. So I actually did a Google search real quick, and I think that I found the roster. So I can call it off for you if you would like.
Yeah.
It looks like Bam Adebayo, Devin Booker. We got Steph Curry. We got Anthony Davis. We've got Kevin Durant. We've got Anthony Edwards. Joel Embiid actually decided, because I believe he had dual citizenship. So he had the option to play for either the United States or another country. We've got Tyrese Halliburton, Drew Holiday. We've got LeBron, Kawhi Leonard, Jason Tatum, and head coach Steve Kerr. So we actually.
We winning this, JJ. Forget that. We are winning it.
We should win it.
Yeah,
we definitely got the talent for sure.
I want to see Jaylen Brown. I've become a big Jaylen Brown fan over the NBA Finals. I love his defense.
Absolutely. Now I'm curious to see who's going to be the starting lineup for this roster.
Listen, I don't care what it is as long as our 3 Kentucky Wildcats that's on that roster gets to start.
Let's see. Who would you have? Maybe Steph at the 1. Would you put Anthony Edwards as your starter at the 2?
I don't see how you can't right now, man.
Okay,
I would probably have Steph, Edwards, and your camera went out, JJ. There you go. I would go.
Let's see.
I would go Steph. Edwards,
looks like I'm having some audio trouble. Hold on.
No, you're good. And Joel Embiid. I don't know if you would start Anthony Davis. So
Jesus Christ.
Oh,
can you hear me, Darryl? Yeah,
yeah,
somebody called my phone, so I had to hit the block button real quick. But what was you saying? I apologize for that.
I would go Steph, Edwards,
maybe KD.
Yeah, Steph, Edwards, KD, LeBron's got to start. I mean,
what about? Oh Jesus, Jason Tatum. Forgot about him. So it's like,
Tatum.
Man.
It'd be Steph, LeBron, KD, Edwards, and Embiid would be probably my starting lineup.
Okay, and then Kawhi Leonard. Let's see. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that would be a really good. Let me see. Let's check the other point guard again. Did I say Damian Lillard? Hold on.
I can't remember.
We're gonna look.
If you did or not, but
it looks like Tyrese Halliburton, Drew Holiday, phenomenal. Like, there's so many players on the roster. I mean, they're very deep this year.
Bradley Dameron says yes, 3-on-3 in the Olympics. Said FIBA governs the 3-on-3 basketball internationally. And Bradley Dameron also says LeBron is really busy coaching the Lakers right now, so I don't know if he'll get a play.
Also, that other guy that they hired, he's not really coaching.
No, I would say that was probably a waste of money for them.
Yeah, I mean, it's either going to be a really good deal or it's going to be really bad. I don't think it'll be anywhere in between.
No, not at all. But, we was talking about watching the Olympics as a kid. Another thing I watched as a kid was the Karate Kid. Yesterday, it was 40-year anniversary of the Karate Kid. You talking about making myself feel old.
That was a great movie. Like, even I remember watching that.
But it was the best. I've probably watched that movie at least 20 times in my life.
Well, even the version with Hilary Swank was pretty good, too. Was that the second one?
You're talking about with Jaden Smith?
No, the Karate Kid Part 2 with the girl. I think they do one with the girl as well.
Oh yeah.
Hilary Swank.
Yeah. And but listen, you talking about back then, that movie right there made a lot of dojos a lot of money, because as soon as that movie come out, you seen everybody start picking up karate and doing karate in the area.
I was one of those guys, like, as well. I took karate whenever I was a kid.
Yeah. I mean, and it was all sparked because of the Karate Kid. It's crazy how movies and pop culture and stuff will boost, a certain demographic, like a certain job or something. You've seen, after Karate Kid, I remember walking in Kroger's and seeing guys in gis, and I'm like, what's that? And it was all because the Karate Kid movie, and none of it would have started without the Karate Kid.
Absolutely.
And then in the mid 90s, early 90s, when UFC come out, and not until Dana White took over, but they got a new energy behind it then. And you started seeing more dojos pick up, especially when I went to North Carolina and the bigger cities. I mean, you're talking every other block, there's a dojo, whether it's jiu-jitsu, karate, wrestling, it don't matter.
Absolutely. And another thing that you were talking about is like pop culture inspiring stuff. In the pool world, like billiards, The Color of Money could have been a good example.
Well, Bradley Dameron, he's on top of it here. He said Part 4 had Hilary Swank, the Karate Kid.
Okay.
Had Hilary Swank. So, JJ, it is 8:58. We're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, hopefully we can get the video working, and we'll have a special guest. So come right back and join us here on the D&D Sports Network Morning Startup Show with Darryl McCoy and JJ Pruitt.
Absolutely.
Pass, bring them to Hall & Jones Funeral Home in Virgie, Kentucky. We let you grieve in peace instead of worrying about a heavy financial burden of burying a loved one.
Here at Hall and Jones, we have multiple chapels that can accommodate any size family. We look forward to helping you and your family here at Hall and Jones.
D&D Auto Sales. Right now, guaranteed credit approval. No credit, bad credit, good credit, it don't matter. Guaranteed credit approval, 100% right now at J&B Auto Sales. Stop by and see them today in DeFord, Kentucky.
High School. Continue to follow D&D Sports, best coverage in the mountains.
And we are back here on the D&D Sports Network morning startup show with JJ Pruitt and Darryl McCoy. Good morning, folks. Everybody joining us. Hopefully here in a second we will be able to get our guest dialed in here. As you know, JJ, it's a little takes a second to click that link and get it in here. So hopefully, but while we're waiting on him, want to take a second to thank Kentucky Mountain Health Alliance. Kentucky Mountain Health Alliance is now celebrating Men's Health Month in the month of June. The Kentucky Mountain Health Alliance is made up of our good friends at Quantum Health, East Kentucky Chiropractic, Quantum Health, and Little Flower Clinic. So make sure you guys hit them up today, especially if you're struggling with mental issues and want to take advantage of Men's Health Awareness Month at Little Flower Clinic.
Absolutely. And I'm really excited for this special guest. Are you gonna get...
Well, I know you're excited, JJ, so I'm going to go ahead and bring him on. I seen him just hop on here. Let's see if we can get Jay on here. Guys, we are here with the beast from the East, James Stewart.
No way.
Yeah.
This is the kid I've been wanting to have a conversation with. Okay.
Well, he's here.
Man, what's good, brother?
Not much. It's early morning.
Absolutely. Hey, it's nice to finally meet you. I apologize. I wasn't familiar with your game until a couple of weeks ago. You know, I'm just now starting to keep up with the kids in the area. And I'll tell you, the first game I got to see you play, you did a heck of a job. You were phenomenal.
I try to go out there and, summer ball, just make a name, get my name.
Absolutely. So who are some of the players who inspired you to play the game of basketball?
I always say Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant was one of them. And I also like Vladdy Divac. You don't hear that name much often, but Vladdy Divac he's my type of player.
Are you for real?
Yeah, I'm 100%.
That is insane.
A lot like Vladdy's.
See, I remember when he played for the Lakers, and then also remember when he got traded. Let's see, he played for the Sacramento Kings as well, I think.
He played with Peja and them.
Yeah, Peja Stojakovic. That 2002 team was tough. But guess who they got beat by? The Lakers.
I'm still young.
Yeah. Well, I could definitely give you a history lesson for sure.
Well, Jaden is one of the front runners for the 15th Region Player of the Year. He's probably the front runner. Now, you had Parker Watts coming over, trying to steal that title. But I'm sure knowing you, Jaden, you're probably up for the challenge, ain't you?
Yeah, I love to compete, and I like to compete. Like, I want people to like. There's two good players. I want to compete against them.
Yep. And that was one of the things that stood out to me the most whenever I got to see you guys go head to head. You didn't shy away from the opportunity to guard him on every single possession.
No, I made sure I guarded him, and it's summer ball too. So I definitely want to show my chances. I want to show what I've been playing defense. I mean, but it wasn't a very defensive game. I think we both had 20 plus, but it was just one of those nights.
Yeah, one had 25, one had 24. So, and that, imagine that was the difference in the final score. So, and after watching that, I that game right there gave me a brighter outlook because we've watched you a few times earlier in the summer in Pike Central. It looked like you guys, it just wasn't clicking yet. It took a minute, but that game right there. When you look at the talent that Martin County has on it, and you guys right there almost knocked them off and still don't have y'all's full roster, that's got to give you a bright outlook on what the season may bring.
Yeah, I agree. It took us a while to click in the summer, and that's all right. That's what summer ball is there for. We're not here to win as much games as we want. We're just trying to get better and trying to showcase our skills that we've been working on over the off season. And we just we mostly want to just focus on our defense and rebounding, because the scoring it's going to come. There's no way that it doesn't. We have too many good scores for it to just not be there.
Well, you
Absolutely.
lose a piece like Jalen Rigdon. I mean, that's a hard piece to really, replace. So, right now y'all's trying to overcome that part too, losing the guy that was the floor general for the last 3 years.
Yeah, I like to think about it like we lost Jalen, but everyone else in the region also lost their seniors, and so that means everyone else has to find new ways to fill in their roles and everything like that. And I've tried to being a great scorer opens up to being a great passer, because people are looking for you to score. So instead of scoring, I can open up chances for my teammates to score and stuff like that.
Absolutely. And I imagine that you have a lot of schools looking at you, so far. Do you have any schools that are maybe on your radar for whenever you go to the next level?
I really like Asbury, KCU, U Pike. I went to Lipscomb not too long ago. Program.
And which? Oh, sorry, Darryl.
No, go ahead, JJ.
And which one of those four could be maybe your top one at this moment in time? Do you have one for
Asbury,
sure?
solid choice right now.
Okay.
But I like to wait until that time comes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I love Asbury. Asbury, they got a great coaching staff, and I'm sure you probably build a good relationship up with Blaine May, who is a former Pikeville Panther, and his dad coached in the area for many years, Denny Paul. So I'm sure that you would love it down there, and it's still close to home, but you're right there outside the city of Lexington, and they got a lot of good programs there too for students.
Yeah.
So right now, with wrapping up summer ball, what is the one piece that you could say that you seen was the biggest downside of the team, and what do y'all got to get better at? Like, what's the piece that y'all got to fix more than anything?
Definitely defense and rebounding. We have we have a big starting five. So I'm technically not the five. I'm technically the 3 or 4. And I try to guard a guard. So our other bigs to take the other bigs. And with me on a guard, that's hard to, work on. And we just got to work on our defenses will make or break us. Last year I think we were a top defensive team. And if we were clicking on defense, we put up a lot of points. But it's just defense and rebounding is our main priority right now.
Yeah, I don't see. I think that's an easy fix, because at the end of the day, we all know what Grant Hall brings to the table on the defensive side. We've seen Jake Sloan get a lot better under Derek Newsom as a defender, but when you got athletic bigs like Peyton Owens and Caden Lawson, you got to think them guys can get out and guard somebody.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it just takes time. We have certain concepts that we do, and it just takes time to get used to them concepts.
Yeah, so JJ, I know after watching Jaden play, you were singing his praises for a while. Any more questions for Jaden?
Is there anybody that's on your roster that didn't get a chance to play summer ball with you guys?
Yeah, we got a few.
You got a couple? Okay.
Now, one thing that Jaden, I know you, you play with Team Mayo a lot, play with some of them 16th region kids. Well, we've seen the 16th region, they're getting really good right now. We've seen Boyd County pick up Jackson Childers. Ashland got Preston Hoskins and Drew Smith. But the story coming out of the 16th region was Xander Carter turning down OTE. I know you got some thoughts on that.
Yeah, I think it was I think he wants to stay loyal to his school. I talked to Xander a few times. He's a really good kid. He's a really amazing player, and I think he wants to, become some sort of I think he wants to become a legend at Ashland. and he's basically already there. I mean, he's won quite a few regional championships, and probably one of the best players in that school for sure. And I think that's just what he's trying to do.
Well, he's the all-time leading scorer already. I mean, he's already committed to Liberty Division I. Big one up there with Colin Porter, former teammate, and but to turn down 6-figure contract, to a lot of us around the area, we think that's crazy, but I like the thing, that's I've talked to a lot of players in the past and some now that's considering going prep school or consider staying high school, but a lot of the reason they stay is Kentucky basketball in the Sweet 16. That's every kid's dream, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So that's one thing that's eluded you. What would it mean for you to end up winning the 15th region and playing at Rupp Arena?
It's been a gold mine ever since I got to play high school basketball, and I think it'd be really amazing for a school. I mean, I want to be on the team that Pike Central hasn't won one before, and I want to be. It'd be amazing to be on the team that won the first Pike Central Regional Boys Championship.
That'd be insane, especially a year like this, when everybody says y'all made lost Rigdon, y'all was going to take a step back. I think, especially after watching y'all play Martin County as good as y'all did, I could very well see you guys winning the 15th region title. I mean, right now, after watching that performance, I mean, I think I still think Martin County is the team to beat preseason. I think Johnson Central would probably be 2, but right there next would probably be you guys, Pikeville and Paintsville, and you guys might be the front of that group after. I've not got to see Paintsville, but so I mean, I think any way you go, y'all could be right there top 3.
Mm-hmm. I agree. If we play and focus on our defense, because the offense we're good on offense. They have to find some ways to stop us, and I don't think a chaser would work personally, because it just leaves way too many people open. I just think if we get defense and rebounding straight, I think will be a problem.
JJ, I know you don't know yet, but Jaden, I know he definitely wants to give a shout out. His little brother is a big time quarterback for the Hawks.
Oh, is he really?
Yeah, he started last year as a freshman.
Does he have like any highlight tapes that people can view on the internet?
I think there's maybe one. I really can't remember.
Yeah, he's his little big brother. Now you talking about? I mean, this kid, he's got a chance to be great if the new coach does his job and the team comes together and does their job. Then you're going to be hearing a lot of Jameer Knuckles' name this year.
Well, I definitely look forward to that. Is he a hooper as well, or is he strictly quarterback?
He's a hooper.
Uh-oh.
Yeah,
you guys had any one-on-one battles yet?
I usually win those, but like he's funny. Watching him play is funny. He's a passer. I didn't get the passing genes. I'm looking to score at all times, but he does like behind the back, no look, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's fun to see.
Yeah, you got that killer mentality. I saw it that first game. I said, "Look, this kid's different."
Yeah.
Yeah, his little brother is insane. He's Magic Johnson-esque with his passes.
You know who you remind me of?
Who?
Tracy McGrady.
I will take that. I will take that for sure.
Because like he made the game look so easy. It's like he didn't have like Kobe, like his style. Like he had to put in all the extra work and like all the footwork and all the practices and stuff. And like T-Mac is like he didn't even have to try. It's like he got the ball, hit you with that hezzy, and absolutely.
T-Mac is one of my. I think he's top 10 for sure.
His talent from a talent perspective, he was absolutely nasty.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Now, Jaden, the y'all got right now is the 15th region player of the year. Is that one of the things that you're using to drive you to get better this offseason?
Yeah, I'm using that, and I'm using like I use like people don't think Pike Central is going to be good this year, so I use that as motivation as well. And I really want to get to the Sweet 16 this year, so I'm using everything I possibly can as motivation.
Oh, well, I think whoever thinks Pike Central ain't going to be good is sipping on the scissor too much because you guys are tough, man. I mean, what I've seen you guys do this summer. I mean, we played against y'all in our AAU group, and as you know, we have top seniors. Pretty much in the area. Minus 3 or 4, and I mean, it was right down to the wire. So, and then y'all play Martin County like you did. I mean, I don't see how anybody can say y'all's not going to be good.
Yeah, I don't. I think if people came and watch us, we didn't do our best down in Louisville this weekend, but we played some really good teams. Henderson is pretty good. We played Evangel Christian, and Evangel Christian made it to the Sweet 16 last year.
Yeah,
we were right there with them. Lost it away.
So y'all played at Collins this past weekend?
Yeah.
Yeah. So how was that event? I mean, I looked. The organizers there at Collins sent me the list of recruiters there. There was over 60 college recruiters in attendance. Talk about getting to play there in that tournament.
We played in it last year, and so I was used to the atmosphere, but we had some new kids. So we played Henderson County first game. They were pretty good, probably a top runner in their region. We played them down to the wire, and we lost by 4 or 3, I think it was, just a 1-shot difference. And they was just physical, good on defense, good offense, good execution, and we didn't execute, and it came back on us. We had a good lead, but that's one of our problems. We can't hold a lead. We just got to learn to execute when the time and score and stuff like that.
What was your record down there?
We were 2-3.
2-3. Okay. Well, I mean, that's still impressive because you got the who's who down there, and so it's and I tell you that's one last thing before we let you go. The 60th district is getting tougher. All of a sudden, it looks like Phelps, graduating Nick Knox and a couple others was going to be tough, but you seen Cameron Smith pick up a couple transfers coming in, and then they still got the big dog Tyler Weddington. Then Belfry they've been probably my surprise team of the summer. A lot better than ever dreamed that they looked. The 60th district, although y'all are the clear front runners, I mean heavy clear front runners. 60th district's got a lot tougher in the past few weeks.
Yeah, both teams have been working pretty hard, but I like to wait till season to see what's all the hype about. We seen Belfry play. I never got the chance to watch Phelps play, but I've seen Belfry play, and I just want to see what they can do in season against us because it's always different. Season time, things are different, and so I just like to see that happen when it does.
Yeah, so it seems like Belfry, the new coach, Brent Perry's got a new energy behind them. And, I know both times I got to watch them this year, they was without 2 of probably what you're going to say is going to be starters for them. But, just looking at, they added that Ian Loomis kid come back. So, that was a big pickup for them. But, they took the defending Class A state champ Tug Valley team down to the final shot. It took a buzzer beater to beat them without 2 starters. So, that was impressive. And then, Phelps, I've not got a chance to watch them, but I could imagine picking up a couple transfers. They're going to be compatible. And, even if you got it don't matter. If you got a Tyler Weddington, you're going to compete.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, but Jaden, I appreciate you getting up, man, early this morning and joining us here on the Startup Show. You are our first guest ever on the Morning Startup Show.
Thank you.
Absolutely, and I appreciate it as well. I really didn't see this coming. Jay,
you go out, put in the work, man, and I hope you accomplish everything you set out to be, including that 15th Region Player of the Year award.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
All right, see you, Jay.
See you.
All right, guys, we're going to take a quick commercial break. Be right back here on the Morning Startup Show.
D&D Auto Sales. Right now, guaranteed credit approval. No credit, bad credit, good credit, it don't matter. Guaranteed credit approval 100% right now at J&B Auto Sales. Stop by and see them today in DeVore, Kentucky. Crum Funeral Home in DeVore, Kentucky is committed in giving the highest quality funeral services for a fair and reasonable price. If you don't want to have to deal with heavy financial obligations during your grieving process, come see us at Crum Funeral Home. Our staff is ready to serve you. Oceana Discount Tobacco today. Nobody can beat Oceana Discount Tobacco's great prices or their great services. You're treated like family from the second you walk through the door. We want to thank Oceana Discount Tobacco for sponsoring today's events. Go follow them on Facebook.
We're back here on the Morning Startup Show with JJ Pruitt and Darryl McCoy on the call. This segment is sponsored by Solid Rock Development, Willie Crace, and Crace Construction. If you're looking to build your dream home today, call Willie Crace. And Solid Rock Development will get you set up. I promise you, the houses that they build is something, some of the best made houses in the business. And Willie does not hire contractors or workers that ain't up to par. So you would be in safe hands with Crace Construction. JJ Pruitt, Darryl McCoy here on the Morning Startup Show. JJ, you got to talk to Jaden. So how excited was you get to see one of your favorite players so far?
Absolutely. I was really excited, and I was really excited, and I didn't see this coming. That was a really good surprise.
Yeah, so Jaden, first ever guest on the Startup Show, so he can put that little notch in his belt.
Absolutely, and he's a really good player too. And like I said, he reminds me a lot of Tracy McGrady because he gets it done and he makes it look very effortless.
He absolutely does.
Yeah.
But as I also just seen come across the screen there, did you see where Tiger Woods got an exempt to automatically qualify for all PGA events?
I think if you look at how he's played for, the last couple of years, then you would say it's not deserved. But if you look at what he's done historically, absolutely,
Yeah.
And plus, he's somebody that people want to tune in to watch, so they know that it's good for business.
Yeah. Well, would like to see, I myself still, I don't watch the PGA unless I see Tiger on.
Yeah.
And because I'm not this golf fanatic. I don't see all the hype about it. I enjoy it. I used to watch it a ton as a kid, but I play putt every now and then. But I got too much to do to be able to go spend 3-4 hours playing golf. So it's not for me. But anytime I'll catch Tiger on, I'm watching.
Absolutely. And I love to play, but I'm not very good. So I'm in the exact same category as you. But yeah, to give him that permanent exemption, I think that it's good for business for sure.
Yeah. I was sitting there a while ago. Some thing popped on the news, and it was talking about things that would affect you as a kid that you may not that you thought would affect your life a lot more, and it never did. I was sitting here racking my brain. Does anything pop to mind when you say that?
Something that affected me as a kid, but
something that you thought would affect as a kid, you thought would affect your life more than it has. I'll give you a great example of the first thing that popped to my mind, and I don't know why, is quicksand. I always, as a kid, you was always taught to fear quicksand. I remember movies where, people get stuck in quicksand. But, I can only remember one time in my life that I ever ran across quicksand.
I could think of some stuff that I didn't do as a kid because I heard it was bad, like coffee stunning your growth. If you drink it, if I had a little more time.
You drank a lot of it.
I never drank any, and it still didn't help me. So all voice, nobody to go with it.
Well, I'm trying to think. Some of the other things, I don't know if any of your parents told you or not, but your parents always tell you not to stare at the microwave when your food was cooking. That my parents told me little men would come out and get you, but they would say that it would like mess your brain up.
Yeah, I've heard that one before.
Yeah, and then people, of course, they'd always say, don't have the TV on when it's lightning.
Yeah. Are you a superstitious person by any chance? Like,
little bit, not hugely, but a little bit.
So, what would be an example of something that you are superstitious over?
Well, I got like, I don't know if it's superstitious or what, but I still carry a Bible in my car, and anytime close accident or something, I'll reach up and pat it. I got a few things I carry in my wallet that's superstitious.
Mm-hmm.
I still to this day, I don't know, I really believe in it, but if I see a black cat, I'm doing the 3 X's on the windshield.
I've heard stuff about black cats as a kid. Like if you see one, then something bad's gonna happen. My dad used to always say as a kid, like if you were sweeping the floor and the broom touches your feet as you're sweeping it, like that means something bad's gonna happen. Like I've heard all kinds of crazy superstitions from my parents as a kid. My mother would always say like, if your ear starts randomly ringing or aching, then it means somebody's talking about you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we see Steve and Heather Carter tuning in. That is the father and mother of Xander Carter. So thank you guys for tuning in this morning, guys. They may be able to get Xander on. Let us know if Xander is around, and if he would like to come on, we'll send him a link and talk to him a second.
Absolutely.
Steve, but Bradley Dameron says he used to think people could routinely yell out to stop the press whenever the news was breaking as a child, and that just doesn't happen. So yeah, Bradley, he's a big time writer. He's our chief sports writer on D&D Sports Network. So Mike Mullen says, I have 3 black cats. Oh Lord, I'd hate to see the luck in your life, sir. I always still this day, I won't walk under a ladder. I will not do it. Yesterday you seen I won't close a knife. Like if somebody else opens a knife, I won't close it. So I'm a little superstitious.
Have you heard is it the red lighter or the white lighter that's supposed to be bad luck?
No, white.
The white lighter,
do not want a white lighter. No.
Yeah,
no.
I've heard that one before.
I've heard that in my entire life. So there's a lot of things, there that affect, if anybody else has any ideals of superstitious, things that are superstitious, make sure that you take and send us your thoughts in the comment section, or you can message us privately, and that way we can talk about it, because that's I always enjoy hearing what other people's superstitious was, and see or things like we was talking about, like lightning hitting the TV, or quicksand, stuff like that. Make sure you send us so we can talk about that. But yesterday, one of the area coaches stepped down. Sean Ward put out during the show yesterday, put out that he has stepped down as head coach of the Wesley Christian Circuit Riders. So, Coach Ward's a kid that we got on probably 5 years ago, 5-6 years ago. He was a soccer coach at Gilbert, and to see his career develop was something that was really special. Seen him he was the employee of the month at McDonald's. and took Gilbert soccer to heights that it's never been, all the way to being the head coach at the Wesley Christian Circuit Riders. He won a national title as an assistant, and then the program went away with COVID. He brought the program back, won a national title last year, and then yesterday Coach Ward stepped down.
Well, it sounds like he had a lot of success.
Yeah, man. He left the program better than he found it. I'll definitely say that. I call Coach Ward a friend, but I'm excited. I don't know if he wants it out there yet or not, so I'm not going to put it out there. But I'm excited for his next venture in life.
Absolutely, and you never know. He may give it a couple of years. He may, come out of retirement and decide that he wants to give it a run again.
Yeah. So, we'll see. The Stephen Heather Carter said he was at the gym, said they'll check and see if he's still working out right now. So, if he does, we'll bring Xander on before the show ends. But, you asked me 20 names that in high school basketball that I would say that you got to know. Okay, JJ, I don't know, off the top of my head here, I'm going to tell you the names, but, and don't hold it against me if I don't mention your name, because our coverage area is so big that I can't remember everybody. But we'll start with Xander Carter, Jacob Spurlock, Cole Hicks, Caleb Rimmer, Elijah Neal, Braxton Keithley, Jaden Stewart, Parker Watts, Austin Sloan, then Peyton Davis, Jackson Estridge, Zaid Rash, Devin Maynard, Matt Hatfield, trying to think, Brody Little, Jackson Keene. After watching him this summer, definitely Ethan Sykes, one of the most improved players. E.B. Walters. Trying to see other names. Evan Eversole. Seth Cottle. Drake Sloan. Trayton Woods, I think Joey Gollihue, a name that people don't know. That's not a household name, but I'm telling you, a kid I expect to have big years, McCormick Ilderton from Logan, Braden Ferris, Ashton Davis, Walker Russell. I think that's 25. So those, and I know I'm missing a load. Makai Iram from Huntington St. Joe, but Hayden Perry from Lawrence County, Gunner Woods. So, there's a ton there. I don't like doing that because I forget so many. But those are ones. And then hold on. I just had a brain hesitation there. As Cole, the kid from Paintsville, definitely Cole. I can't remember his last name. So
it doesn't start with an H, does it?
No. I'll think of it here in a second. But anyways, we just got word. So Xander Carter will be on tomorrow morning. So I'm very excited to watch him, and you will be surprised with Xander Carter because I promise you, nobody interviews like Xander Carter. This kid, you talking about the prototypical, a coach's dream. I mean, people will love hearing this young man speak.
I'm really excited to, have a conversation with him as well.
Yeah, so it's going to be. We appreciate each and every one of you guys for tuning in, guys. We still got a couple segments to go here, but somebody asked, "What's the difference between Kentucky and West Virginia basketball?" there's a huge difference. Hey, JJ.
Yes, sir. I would say the biggest difference for me personally is the physicality.
Yeah.
I think that West Virginia is a lot more finesse, and Kentucky's more of like they kind of remind me of like 90s, early 2000s basketball.
Yeah. You said it. Kentucky's more physical. It's a different world. You know, I mean, Kentucky basketball. You can take the top 5 teams in West Virginia, and it would be hard for them to win games in the Sweet 16.
Yeah, absolutely. And whenever I first transferred to Belfry, my sophomore/junior year of high school, I definitely noticed the difference. It's like the referees give you an opportunity to play. They give you more freedom.
Yeah,
absolutely,
100%. So, I don't know. I mean, I myself, I like Kentucky basketball a little more, but not saying that anything bad. It's just it's more competitive, and I like the way the playoff system's set up in Kentucky.
Yeah, and that's one thing that you mentioned to me. Like, I had no idea how prestigious winning a regional title was. Like, being from West Virginia, I was always told, like, you want to try to win a state championship, whether it's class single A, double A, or triple A. But when you get to Kentucky, there's only one team that can actually win the state title. So I didn't know that, the regional championships were that prestigious.
Yeah. I mean, it's in West Virginia, I would say that in Kentucky, you don't ever, because you don't see a lot of mountain teams win it now. I mean, of course, Shelby Valley and Paintsville did it, but in recent history, but it's very rare. So when you talk about when you get older, you talk about the region titles. You don't talk about the state titles, because it's very rare that they win it. Every now and then you'll have local teams win all A titles, but it's I would say that it's a case that a 15th region title means as much as a West Virginia title does.
And I can see that now.
The state title, so but as and that's just my opinion. I know the folks at home tuning in, they'll have a little different outlook. So, let's see, Coach Trimble. What are you saying, Tim? Coach Trimble, let us know. I don't know what you mean by that, but I'm this year it's going to be a lot different. I'm as much excited about football this year as I've been in a long time. Football is it's in the mountains. I mean, we got a lot of young teams. I don't know that you're going to have the power teams that you're going to have in the past, but I think this year you'll see a lot more parity. And we'll talk about that when we come back, JJ. We got one more commercial break, and then we will come right back for the final segment. So come right back and join us here on the Morning Startup Show.
Walters Kia. By now, you know Kia is a great vehicle, and you know they come with a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty. So why should you buy from Bruce Walters Kia? At Bruce Walters Kia, we're going to change your oil for free for life. And what you do with that money you save is up to you. Come check out the 2022 Kia Carnival and the 2021 Kia Sorento. Only at Bruce Walters Kia in Pikeville. Or shop us online at brucewalterskia.com.
Started right here on this farm. We may have grown over the years, but we've never lost sight of what was important to us. We're continuing that tradition today, and we always will be for generations to come.
High School. Continue to follow D&D Sports, best coverage in the mountains.
We're back here on the Morning Startup Show. Darryl McCoy and JJ Pruitt, as we are sitting here, second day of the Morning Startup Show, guys. As we said yesterday, this is a show we hope all you folks can get up in the mornings, watch us. We're going to have guests on from time to time. We'll talk about everything from politics, religion, sports, local affairs. It doesn't matter. We'll be talking about it. JJ, yesterday you got to go eat at one of the unique restaurants in the area at Cloud 9. So what was your thoughts about it?
It was a really beautiful location and the food was phenomenal. Like, I'm really glad that you took me to that place and you're actually getting me out of my shelter being that I'm currently at. Like, that was a really, really nice place. And I believe that you said that there was like a small like airline that was close to that, or correct me if I'm wrong.
It was in the parking lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, the airport was in the parking lot there.
Yeah. That was okay. Yeah, it was very peaceful up there.
Yeah, and JJ, guys, he was as much excited about seeing the prison that Kodak Black was in as he was seeing the airport.
Yeah, because I had heard so much about it, and I was like, is that the prison? Because, just the location that it was in, and, once you told me, like, the exact name, I was like, that name sounds really familiar.
Yeah, so, there's a lot of unique restaurants around here.
Mm-hmm. And I look forward to going to, all the other ones.
Yeah, normally when we eat lunch, I always try to eat lunch at a local establishment. I try not to eat at chains unless I have to.
Absolutely. Always supporting the smaller businesses for sure.
Yeah, and when you talk areas, it was there's a lot of good restaurants in these areas that people don't realize. Cloud 9. If anybody hasn't been there, I highly suggest you come. Bring your family one day. I think they're open like 7 or 8 in the evenings, and on the weekends I think they're open till like 5 or 6. But you go up there and it's an experience. Beautiful place. You'll see elk. You'll see all kinds of wildlife going up there. There's the prisons up there, the airport. So it's just a unique place. Other places I like eating in the area. I like the Big Blue Smokehouse. If I'm in Hazard, that's kind of my go-to. In Louisa, there's a couple that I like. My favorite is the place where they do karaoke there. And I just thought of it too quickly, so I do not remember the name. And then I like that Down Home Grill. Trying to think. Then I like LJ's when I'm in the Wayne area. If I'm in Huntington, it's no doubt Huntington Ale House. This is by far the number one restaurant. Logan, I'm a big Chiefs. When you go to Logan. Then if you go to make one, Trailhead Bar and Grill. You're in Lenore, Cheech's Pizza. These are in Kermit, the Tug, Fork, and Spoon. If you haven't ate there, a lot of good local restaurants in the area.
Absolutely. And speaking of what you just said, a couple of restaurants prior, you mentioned like karaoke. I got a question for you. What is your go-to karaoke song?
Probably Randy Travis. I'm a big Deeper Than the Holler.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's my go-to. A lot of Kobe. Should Have Been a Cowboy. A lot of. I'm a '90s country guy, so I like Earl Thomas Conley. I like Keith Whitley. George Jones. I like a little bit of Hank, but I like Conway Twitty, Don Williams. So I like 80s, 90s country, and then anything hip hop, R&B in the 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah, I'm the exact same way, but any boy band from the 90s actually will be my go-to. Any NSYNC, Backstreet Boys, anything like that, that would be what I would go with. And I would love to know what anybody in the comment section, like what their go-to karaoke songs are as well.
So well, I had a joke, but I'll leave that alone right now. But Bradley Dameron says, I feel like the WVSSAC handcuffs West Virginia high school athletes. Bradley, that's a great point. I agree 1,000%. I think that the WVSSAC, a lot of people call them a dinosaur. Their rules was made back in the 40s and 50s, and they haven't changed them. The one rule that I do like that they changed recently is instead of giving them dead periods, they give them flex days. So you get 30 flex days, and you can use anytime you want.
Yeah, that's unfortunate that they are stuck in their ways, but it's nice to know that they've actually made some sort of adjustments. Like, if there's one rule that you wish that they would change right now, like the very first one that stands out to you, what would that one be?
The kids being able to play up. I think that you should be able to, if you're a really good 7th or 8th grader, you should be able to play up in high school. And, that's probably the rule that causes them to lose as many athletes as any rule they got. And then I hate the fact that you can only, I think they might have changed it to 6 quarters now. It used to be 5 quarters that you're allowed to play in a day. So you're only allowed, like the kids that play JV, they only get 1/2 of JV ball. So we'll try to get JJ back in here in a second as he has disappeared. There he is.
Can you see? Yeah, sorry about that.
Yeah, he's back now. So
absolutely, I am here for sure.
Yeah, but he I don't like you're only allowed to play so many quarters. I don't like the fact that you got. Obviously, the age limit is one of mine. Somebody else let us know, because there's a ton of no, actually, the rule I would want changed more than any is that they're only allowed to play 22 games in a season. That is so unfair to West Virginia kids. No reason for that, and that rule needs changed immediately.
I never knew that was actually a rule, but when I think about, like, whenever I was at my freshman year of high school, like, that number specifically, like, it was never more than 20 games, like, or 20.
Yeah, it sucks, and I'm a big fan of the WVSSAC. Like, WVSSAC they got some great people working, but it's above their pay grade, and but they need to change them immediately. Another one that affects us as much as any is that West Virginia kids isn't allowed to compete in an all-star game. One of the stupidest things that I've ever heard in my life. But they can go play 9 games in a row in an AAU tournament, but they can't compete in an all-star game unless you're a senior.
Oh, so I was about to say, so, like, I know West Virginia, they have the football game that's an all-star game, right? Or is that the North-South game?
Yeah, you can if you're a senior, but that's the only time.
That would be interesting if they could actually have an all-star game. Like, people could get online and they could vote which kids they want to see play, and, that would be very entertaining to watch.
Yeah, they Bradley Dameron says, look at the Priest twins at Wayne. They could have already been helping the high school team. I agree with you, Bradley. Them Priest boys, that they was kids last year that would have helped Wayne possibly make a state tournament bid if they could have played. And there's tons of them. Go look at all the kids that, Tug Valley has lost in the past to Martin County because kids wanting a chance to play a couple of years of high school and grade school. And another rule that's not necessarily West Virginia, but it's Kentucky too, is I hate the rule that kids, once school starts, that they can't compete in camps. Because, like, for instance, Jaden Stewart a couple of years, one of the biggest flexes that you could ever do is getting invited to the Chris Paul All-Star game. and Jaden Stewart was invited to it, but because it was a few days after he started school, then he couldn't compete in it.
That doesn't make any sense. I
No,
don't
rules like
understand
that need changed.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. If you have an opportunity to go play in a game that's that prestigious, why would they not want him to play?
Yeah, I agree 100%. So I don't know. I mean, I'd just like to see a lot of the rules changed and like to see them catered toward athletes. And I think the athletes are starting to get more power as NIL has become a thing. I think, I know a few of the high schools have already converted over to have an NIL, in high school. I think North Carolina is a state that you can capitalize on your name, image, likeness. But, I think that's going to push a lot more power to the kids. And I think anything you see college do, you're going to see high school do it not far after. Just like the transfer portal. I don't think we're long away from seeing a official high school transfer portal. A lot of people says it's already going, but I think there's a chance it could be legal in the near future.
Yeah, absolutely. And I look forward to that day, just seeing what happens.
Yeah. I'm not. I don't want to say that because I'm not a fan of transfers. Believe it or not, like I'm not a fan at all of high school transfers because you got high school transfers are, to me, I think a lot of kids, transfer too quickly and ain't taught to fight through adversity. But, I say that, but I also have seen way too many kids not get fair shots, and you always, like, most of the time you're like, oh, it's just their mommy and daddy talking. But, believe me, I've seen it. I've seen a lot of kids, not get a fair shake at their school, and knowing that they could go to any other school and start, it's tough, to see kids, that, maybe getting, 10 minutes at this school and could go start at another school, so I understand kids transferring, but, I do think I wish parents sometimes, especially at young ages, like the thing that really gets me, and it's hard because I say that and I'm doubling back on it. I think that kids in freshman, sophomore year, way too many parents think kids should be playing freshman, sophomore year. When I was younger, that wasn't a thing. Unless you was a junior or senior, unless you was a phenomenal freshman or sophomore, you wasn't getting on the court. But now parents end up taking and transferring their kids too quickly at young ages instead of having them, wait their time out. But,
absolutely.
I also understand if their kid, is, that young talent, and, knows that he can play at another school, then, I understand that too. So I don't know where I'm at on the situation. I like to say I'm against it, but I could give you a million reasons for it.
The politics is a real thing as well, some of these schools. And that's like, like we were talking about Coach Jones earlier, I'm pretty sure that, he had to deal with some stuff before he transferred to Belfry. And, they were questioning whether or not he was going to be good enough. And then he transferred and he showed them that he was really that guy. So there are instances where, you do see players that are an exception.
They I don't know. And David Jones brought up a good point. He said West Virginia's already got a high school transfer portal. You get a one-time transfer pass. So that's true. West Virginia, you can transfer anywhere you want one time.
Oh, they finally, was this a rule that they implemented recently, or is this something that's been around for a while? Or
no, they done it, I think 2 years ago.
Oh, okay. So this is fresh.
Yeah. So I don't know. I just it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see. I don't. In West Virginia, that is one rule that I'm glad that they did. I'm glad you brought that up, Coach Jones, because that's one thing that I do give the WSSAC a big shout out for, is changing that rule, because there's kids that go to a school and don't hold them to that school, because in West Virginia they was a lot harder than Kentucky. In West Virginia they make you sit out that year, so it'd be interesting.
Absolutely.
But
so we are at the final stretch where we have about maybe 5 minutes left for everybody to watch us.
Yeah. But and I'm sitting here getting matched. Somebody said, who was the most notable transfer? I don't know. In the D&D era, I mean, if that's what they're talking about, I would say the kid that benefited the most from transferring is Saldine. Saldine was a Belfry Pirate, and he ended up going to West Virginia and winning a state title, and ended up he was probably the second best player he was the runner up. I thought he was the best player at the state tournament and should have been player of the year, but he was runner up to player of the year. So I think Saldine was probably one that benefited tremendously, and a rare one going from Kentucky back to West Virginia.
Oh wow, I never knew that.
Yeah, so
I learn something new every day.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see, in the near future how things go. But I'm excited for tomorrow's show, JJ, because tomorrow, we will try to get Coach Jones on early in the morning, and then have Xander Carter on tomorrow evening. But go ahead.
So there's a chance that we'll have two guests tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'm really excited for that.
Yeah, we could have two guests. We'll have one in the morning session, and then we'll have one in the second hour. And try to get, if you guys got questions for them, make sure you send them to us. I'm excited to talk to Xander Carter for sure. Anytime I get a chance to catch up with him, but. This morning's startup show, hopefully you guys are enjoying it at home, and it continues to grow. You guys hit that like and share button, help it grow. You can watch it on YouTube as well. So if you're sitting at home and want to watch it on the big screen, we do have it over on the YouTube channel as well. So make sure that you guys continue to grow that. We are going out, as soon as we leave here, we'll be going out and selling. We got a lot of opportunities as this show here, a lot of advertising opportunities, and it's very affordable, where this is a new startup show. Very affordable. Yesterday, nearly 5,000 people clicked on the show in the first day ever. So you're going to be getting a huge bang for your buck on this show. And we'll also be doing a segment every week, a small business spotlight. So if you would like your business to be spotlighted on the Startup Morning Show, make sure you reach out to us. But guys, I want to thank everybody once again. We want to thank Jaden Stewart, the Beast from the East, for joining us. But
Absolutely.
For JJ Pruitt and Darryl McCoy, we're going to jump off here, and we will see you tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Come right back and join us tomorrow for another great roster of topics here on the D&D Sports Network Morning Startup Show. So long and good night.